Every big name in show business came out for Kamala Harris, from Oprah to Clooney to Beyonce, and she lost every swing state. A survey of Ohio voters found Taylor Swift's endorsement actually had a negative impact, with 24% saying it made them less enthusiastic about her as a candidate. Celebrities aren't helping, and why would they? In a country where the big issue now is affordability, outside of, Springsteen and a few others, celebrities don't strike people as relatable or in touch. And what their activism mostly activates is eye roll.
Imagine you're in this grocery store, trying to figure out if you can afford both eggs and chicken, when your phone buzzes with a celebrity telling you who to vote for, as if they've solved democracy between flights and photo shoots. Bill Maher calls out exactly this kind of celebrity overreach. These stars don't live in the same world as most people. They travel privately, own multiple homes, and live in ways most of us can't relate to. Being talented in movies or music doesn't automatically make them trustworthy on politics, and that's the point Maher drives home.
They're not just like us. They're just not. They fly private. They have 5 houses all over the world. They give their kids ridiculous names. They make candles that smell like the vagina. They wear crazy amounts of jewelry. They buy castles. They buy towns. They buy islands. They have shark.
Celebrities can have opinions, but fame isn't a political credential. When people worry about bills and groceries, a millionaire telling them what's best feels condescending. That's Maher's point. Celebrity endorsements create a disconnect between Democrats and the working people they claim to represent.
Up 3 hours late for their own concerts, and people still go. Please, it's okay. You're stars. We like you for who you are. Insulated divas whose talent allows you to pig out on the finer things in life, because we all need something to aspire to. But being talented, which you are, isn't the same as knowing things or having the credibility to advise people on their politics.
It's not that voters think celebrities are bad people. They don't. The problem is the performance. Celebrity politics often feels like a marketing campaign, trying to win the vibe war instead of addressing real struggles like paying bills. Maher's point: being famous doesn't make you wise. Audiences blur the line between a role and the person playing it. Actors playing presidents or singers singing about struggle aren't suddenly experts on everyday life. When the lights go off, it's just a wealthy person with a microphone and an opinion.
Of course, this is where celebrities would say, "How dare you? We're citizens with just as much right to speak out." Agreed, you absolutely do. I'm just saying.
Sure, celebrities can raise awareness and amplify causes, but when they become the face of a political movement, real issues risk turning into content, and that feels fake. Maher argues they mostly trigger eye rolls, not activism. It's hard to take moral lessons seriously from people whose lifestyles scream, rules are for everyone else. Climate is a perfect example. Preaching carbon reduction while jetting around privately sends the wrong message. That's not leadership, it's comedy.
Enjoy this fun photo collage of some of your favorite stars and politicians who speak about the need to reduce our carbon footprint, but who are always on private planes. That's right, all of them. If you don't see a celebrity's picture here, it's because we weren't allowed to use it. Or their series got canceled. But all the environmentalists of Hollywood and Washington do it. Their position on climate change is, we must do more to stop pouring carbon into the air, except for me when I want to go somewhere and then I take a private.
Maher admits private travel can be necessary, but constant jetting while preaching climate action looks hypocritical. Voters spot inauthenticity and resentment builds. In politics, perception matters. If Democrats seem out of touch, Republicans just need to appear more grounded.
Celebrities don't know about the real world. So Democrats, it's great you have all the big celebs, but people see them as an arm of the Democratic Party, which they already suspect for lacking common sense. I know. I know the celebrities mean well, and we thank them for having their heart in the right place, but just do you. Do what you do so well. Use your extraordinary talents for the noble cause of bringing relief from the problems that ribbons and pins can't fix. I know it's very important to you that you feel that you're making a difference, so let me assure you, you are. You're making independents vote Republican.
Maher makes a brutal but true point. Independents hate inauthenticity and don't respond to celebrity endorsements, which often feel like glam virtue signaling. These endorsements mainly excite people who already agree, while undecided voters feel lectured or shamed, and when that happens, they dig in, get defensive, and sometimes even do the opposite. Politics, like people, can be petty.
And Greta, that's who walks the walk. Everyone else is full of shit, and I'm done being full of shit. I can take being a bad environmentalist because almost all of us are, but I can't take being a hypocrite. Now, I always justified renting a plane because I only used it for work and literally could not get to most of my stand-up gigs on time any other way. How do you think I did it all those years? I said goodnight here at 8 p.m. and was on stage in Vegas at 10. But I don't need to do stand-up like tomorrow night in Albuquerque.
Maher also warns against assuming celebrities are informed just because they're confident. Fame creates a bubble where applause becomes feedback, and people start believing they're right without real expertise. He cites Dave Chappelle's Saudi Arabia comment, not to dunk on him, but to show how celebrity statements travel, spark debate, and get treated like serious analysis. The danger isn't malice, it's that fame amplifies half-baked opinions. In politics, the loudest megaphone often matters more than the best plan.
It's privilege, but you avail yourself of the greatest privilege of all, to remain clueless. Dave Chappelle lashed out at me last month because I called him out for saying there was more free speech in Saudi Arabia than here. Well, I was right. What he said was stupid. America has many problems, including free speech issues on both left and right, but we're real different than Saudi Arabia. If you don't believe me, try opening a lesbian art gallery there.
Maher doesn't just roast celebrities, he targets modern activism and moral theater. Hashtags, pins, flashy endorsements, they often push independence away instead of helping. People are tired of being lectured by those living in luxury while pretending to care. Politics isn't a red carpet. Fame doesn't fix rent, groceries, or childcare. Maher extends the critique to politicians, highlighting the same do as I say, not as I do hypocrisy, especially on climate. When leaders preach sacrifice, but live as exceptions, trust collapses. And without trust, even good policies fail, leaving voters to make decisions based on vibes rather than substance.
One can resist it. John Kerry is our climate czar, and he uses a private jet. It's like if the Secretary of Homeland Security smuggled drugs in his butt. People take jets to environmental conferences. If you could run TED Talks on hypocrisy.
Maher keeps it self-aware, admitting his own missteps, renting planes, early Teslas that didn't work. Showing honesty matters more than perfection. People want transparency, not moral superiority. He also calls out the younger generation, pointing out that being young doesn't automatically mean virtuous. Trends like Bitcoin show that some chase profit over principles, even while claiming to care about the environment.
But sorry, not sorry. I tried to do my part for the environment. I never had kids. The one thing worse for the planet than private jets. It's true, because then they have kids. I had the first generation Prius in 2001. It looked like a Tylenol gel cap. I was always handing my keys to valets who were driving a better car than me. I had the first Tesla in 2010. And honestly, both these cars sucked.
Whether you agree or not, the point is clear. People want status and luxury. When celebrities preach sacrifice while living the dream, it breeds resentment. Maher's warning to Democrats is simple. Stop chasing Hollywood validation. Fame doesn't equal persuasion, and lecturing voters only comes across as arrogance, not leadership.
Could fly commercial. Why don't they? Ask anyone who tried to get home for Christmas last year. And don't tell me the younger generation is better. They're not. They're just poorer. They're actually worse. This is who they look up to. The family where everyone has their own private jet. And kids love Bitcoin, which to determine the value of takes an amount of computer processing that uses more electricity than some whole countries. Kids could have rejected that, but they didn't. They love it. Why? Because they want to be rich. Why?
The solution isn't banning celebrities from speaking, it's not making them the centerpiece. Let the message come from people who live the problems, struggling with rent, bills, or a second job. Authenticity isn't a vibe, it's a strategy. Celebrity endorsements might energize a base, but to persuade the middle, a parade of rich famous faces can feel condescending, like a billionaire judging your budget meal. People don't hate celebrities, they hate being preached at by those who don't live under the same rules. Until politics remembers that, campaigns will chase clout while voters chase affordability.